Hi, this is Jenny Dozier, and today I'll be sharing a little bit of background information on Dr. Alligood's education and work experience and the research impact that she's made in ABA. Dr. Alligood has a fascinating career. Her education background includes a master's degree from University of North Carolina at Wilmington. Her BCBA is from West Virginia University, and her work history and accolades are quite extensive and very impressive. She served as the president of the Applied Animal Behavior Special Interest Group for the Association of Behavioral Analysis International. She's also been a grant reviewer for Disney Worldwide Conservation Fund and the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Conservation Endowment Fund. She's also been a manuscript reviewer for various journals. Currently, she's an employee of Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando, Florida, my dream job, and she's serving as the director of the Behavioral Husbandry Team for animals in the Animal Kingdom, the Seas with Nemo and Friends at Epcot, and a variety of Disney locations. She's been the recipient of several awards and grants related to her most well-known work with a species that is indigenous to the Key Largo region of Florida. She's been a recipient of the Bean Award for significant achievement in captive breeding from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums for her wood rat breeding program, and also a federal challenge grant in 2010 for her work with monitoring the Crocodile Lake National Wildlife Refuge. Her most well-known work includes developing and maintaining husbandry programs for the Key Largo wood rat, who you can see here on the screen. Much cuter than what I had been envisioning when I was reading through the literature here. So that was a nice surprise. The wood rat is an endangered species native to the Florida Keys. And this particular wood rat has a much larger type of nest that is built compared to other similar species. The nest can be 6 feet by 10 feet in size, which is proof that, even the wildlife in Florida are looking for enormous homes, I guess. And their fate has been largely tied to habitat destruction. There's an infestation of fire ants in this particular region. There's a lot of competition with other species of rats, and they're predated by Burmese pythons and feral cats, which are rampant in the area. They're also a key food source for a species of crocodile in the area, so their fate is sort of tied to the crocodiles there as well. So due to the difficulty in observing the species because of their natural surroundings, aka, as you just heard, they live in areas with crocodiles and pythons, and due to the dwindling populations and habitat destruction, if you think about Florida, all of the golf courses and resorts and tourist areas that continue to pop up, there was little known about the maternal and offspring behaviors of the species because there are a lot of obstacles to directly observing them in the wild. So some of her most well-known work includes studying the social interactions, the feeding, attachment, activity, and the detachment behavior of pups from their mothers, particularly in her 2008 study, where she found that these behaviors were very much comparable to interactions observed in other wood rat species. And this has really helped to inform postpartum care and better detection of intervention needs needed between the mothers and pups in captivity who are being bred for repopulation purposes. Her work also extends to the study of practices which aid in the effective collection of animal behavior. As you can see here, this is an example of a diagram from her 2008 study that shows that the placement of behavior detecting equipment, surveillance, the timing that behavior is recorded, the presentation of food and where the food should be presented within the habitat, hormone profiles, the interaction and observation of copulation between the wood rats, and pup-rearing behaviors have all been found to be important husbandry variables to consider in these captive breeding programs. Her work has also been influential in the argument for the greater need for use of single-subject designs as a better method for studying animal behavior, which I found to be fascinating. If I were to have a chance to sit across from Dr. Alligood, these are a few of the questions that I would certainly like to throw her way. The first would be, what are some of the future developments that you expect to see in applications of ABA in animal populations? I would be interested to know how her research has helped to inform other professionals who are working with other forms of animal populations. So I was thinking of service animals here, law enforcement units, animals who may be used in labs or for medical testing purposes. I was also interested to wonder what her opinion would be on behavior analysis knowledge that could be shared with the average pet owner to improve the quality of pet care within a residence. What her most surprising findings were in her research. I think that's always a standard question for a scientist. What was your eureka moment, or what was that moment that you just weren't expecting to find but ended up being important nonetheless? And is there a species that you hope to investigate or apply ABA with one day? Her applied work in the field has really helped to educate and better the practices of professionals around the globe whose work centers on animal populations and measuring and analyzing those behaviors and improving the quality of care in various managed population settings. Her work has a great impact for the design of future captive breeding and reintroduction programs, which are especially important for endangered species like the wood rat. And I would sort of anticipate that as climates and habitats and populations, both of animals and humans, continue to change in the near future, that her work is only going to grow in significance because the need for these captive breeding programs may certainly increase down the road. This quote that I've put here from her 2012 interview, where she says, behavior analysts' expertise in defining behavior operationally, framing challenges in terms of contingencies, and arranging appropriate schedules of reinforcement can help us make significant contributions in achieving these behavioral goals. And I think her contributions to the field will definitely impact all of us in our careers. And when I think of this quote and the meaning behind it, it really highlights that the science of behavior is incredibly far-reaching, that there really is no limit to what we can apply these principles to in an attempt to understand the behavior of others and our own behavior and improve lives. And whether that life has tiny ears and cute little whiskers, or that life is a child, a teen, or an adult who's sitting next to you in a clinical practice setting, the knowledge of ABA truly does open doors to achieving behavioral goals for all organisms. These are the sources that I used to create this presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned a little bit more about Dr. Alligood.